At sunrise, Abu Dhabi looks unreal. Glass towers rising from sand, highways empty, palm trees perfectly spaced. It feels calm, almost quiet for a place sitting on more wealth than most countries. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Abu Dhabi is rich not because it found oil first. It's rich because it learned how to stop needing oil before the oil stopped needing it. And that story matters right now because most resource-rich places never figure that part out. Let's rewind. A little over 70 years ago, Abu Dhabi was poor, not developing, poor. Fishing villages, pearl divers, mud brick homes. The population was barely 40,000 people. Life expectancy was low. Education was rare. Cash was scarcer than water. Then, in 1958, oil was discovered. But discovery doesn't equal wealth. Plenty of countries struck oil and stayed broke. Some even collapsed. Abu Dhabi was different. Not because of luck, because of decisions. When oil money started flowing in the 1960s and 70s, the leadership faced a brutal question. Do we spend everything now, or do we assume this will end? Most countries choose now. Abu Dhabi chose later. Oil revenues exploded after the 1970s oil shocks. Prices jumped. Money poured in faster than the city could physically absorb it. Roads, hospitals, schools were built almost overnight. But here's the key move most people miss. They didn't treat oil money like income. They treated it like a one-time inheritance. And inheritance money is dangerous. Spend it all, and it's gone. Invest it right, and it can outlive you. So Abu Dhabi did something boring. And boring is often where real wealth hides. They saved. In 1976, they created an entity called the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, ADIA. At the time, it didn't make headlines, no dramatic speeches, no dramatic announcements. But this was the real turning point. Instead of letting oil money sit in government accounts or get burned on prestige projects, they quietly sent it out into the world. Stocks, bonds, real estate, infrastructure, private companies, not in one country, everywhere. Think of it like this. Every barrel of oil sold wasn't just burned into cash, it was converted into a small ownership stake in the global economy. If oil prices crashed, dividends still arrived. If local growth slowed, overseas assets kept working. Today, ADIA is estimated to manage over $800 billion. Some estimates go even higher. That's more money than the GDP of many nations, and it's only one of Abu Dhabi's funds. This is where the math starts to get uncomfortable. Abu Dhabi produces around 3 million barrels of oil per day, but oil now makes up less than half of government revenue. That's not because oil disappeared, it's because investment income replaced it. They built a machine that earns money while they sleep, and they kept building it. Masdar invested in renewable energy long before it was fashionable. Mubadala took stakes in semiconductors, aerospace, healthcare, and tech. They bought ports, airports, data centers, and power grids across continents, not loudly, relentlessly. Here's the irony. The city most people associate with oil wealth is actively positioning itself for a world after oil, and it's doing it using oil money. But this story isn't just about funds and finance, it's about control. Abu Dhabi is not a democracy. That's important. Decisions are centralized. Long-term plans don't change every election cycle. That allowed them to think in decades, not quarters. They could say no to wasteful spending, no to populist giveaways, no to short-term applause. That doesn't make the system perfect, but it makes it effective. Contrast that with many oil-rich nations where revenue gets trapped in corruption, subsidies, or political chaos. Same resource, very different outcomes. Now zoom in to the city itself. Abu Dhabi doesn't chase spectacle the way Dubai does. No constant world records, no obsession with being the loudest. It plays a quieter game. It builds cultural gravity. Louvre Abu Dhabi, global universities, research hubs, sovereign-backed venture capital. These aren't tourist attractions first. They're signals. Signals that say serious capital lives here, and serious capital attracts more capital. There's also a demographic advantage most people ignore. Abu Dhabi's citizen population is small, very small. Roughly 1 million Emirati citizens benefit from the state's oil and investment income. When you divide massive wealth among fewer people, per capita numbers explode. Free healthcare, free education, housing support, guaranteed government jobs. It creates stability, and stability is priceless in a volatile region. But here's where the hype cracks. Abu Dhabi's wealth doesn't mean everyone is rich. The majority of the population are expatriate workers. They build the city. They staff the offices. They leave when contracts end. They don't share the same safety net. So when people say Abu Dhabi is one of the richest cities in the world, what they really mean is the state is rich, and the state owns almost everything that matters. Land, energy, major companies, capital. This centralized ownership is powerful, but it comes with risk. When the state is the main investor, employer, and decision-maker, mistakes scale fast. A bad investment isn't just a loss, it's public money on the line. And the global bets Abu Dhabi has made are massive. Technology cycles are volatile. Geopolitics can freeze assets overnight. Climate transition threatens fossil fuel demand faster than expected. The same global integration that made Abu Dhabi rich is the thing that could expose it. There's also a quiet tension beneath the surface. Can a system built on state-led wealth creation adapt to a future where innovation moves faster than bureaucracy? Can capital be as patient when the world demands speed? And what happens when oil revenues shrink faster than investment income grows? Because make no mistake, oil still matters. It still funds the machine. Abu Dhabi didn't escape oil. It leveraged it. The city's real achievement isn't skyscrapers or museums or sovereign funds. It's time. They bought time. Time to diversify, time to learn, time to position themselves as owners, not sellers, in the global economy. Most countries sell things. Abu Dhabi owns things, and ownership changes everything. So here's the final question. When the oil truly runs out, when the world finally moves on, will Abu Dhabi be remembered as the city that escaped the resource curse, or the rare example of a nation that turned temporary luck into permanent leverage? Because the money is enormous, but the future is still uncertain, and even the richest cities in the world can't buy their way out of every ending.